Hello, people. I'm here with a guy who's in Brazil as well. He's known as Gringo Recifence, but his name is Peter O'Brien, and he's awesome. How are you today?
Hey, Rod. I'm well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for accepting recording this interview with me. What made you come to Brazil and become so famous on TikTok?
Well, it's quite a long story, Rod, but the main reason why I'm here in Brazil is because I met on my Recifence, they say, so a girl from Recife, and I met her online back in 2014 on a website. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this website, but it's called Omegle, and it's a website where you can talk to different strangers around the world. It's not a dating website or anything. It's a website. Random people pop up on your screen. You can talk to them if you want. You can, go to the next person, sort of skipping them. And you get a lot of weird people on this website. So it's not the place to find love.
Yeah.
And she popped up on the screen, and then started chatting on this website. Managed to get her contact details, and then pretty much talking every day, every week, until the point where I thought, blimey, I want to go visit this girl. And basically, I was at college at the time, so I still had to finish college before I traveled anywhere. But I ended up buying flights to Recife. These flights were for 6 months later. So imagine I've spent a lot of money to see this girl, and I'm hoping that we're still talking in the meantime and everything's okay. But to cut a long story short, 6 months passed by very quickly. We were talking just fine and it was great. And in the end, I traveled to Brazil in October the 9th in 2014. And I met her in Recife, and I spent 6 months with her and her family. Because that's the amount of time you can spend on a tourist visa in Brazil for British citizens. And yeah, spent 6 months there. So that's the reason why I'm in Brazil. I ended up, after the 6 months were up, I went back home to the UK. I graduated in mechanical engineering at Portsmouth University. And that was in 2018. And in 2018, we got married in the UK. So this is a long story.
No worries.
To cut it short, got married, and then moved to Brazil in 2018, March of 2018, and I've been here ever since. So there's a lot in between that, but to sum it up, that's the main reason why I'm living here in Brazil, because of her.
If you allow me, I think that you have already gotten the Brazilian state of mind.
Yeah,
and I like the British humor very much, because I think it's so close to Brazilian humor, so we are sassy, we are cheeky, we are funny. And when I saw your videos on TikTok, I said, he's amazing and I'm going to invite him for an interview. But were you funny before TikTok? Were you always like that?
Good question. I think I've always been sort of camera shy. I never really thought I'd be sort of the person to go in front of a camera and start to record funny videos. So I guess I like to think my friends not think I'm funny. But yeah, I think after a friend of mine sort of said, "Oh, you should do some videos about your experiences living here in Brazil," and that's how it all started, really. And I started getting into it, and people started finding it funny, and I carried on and sort of started to blow up on TikTok. So yeah, that's I guess it's a new sort of talent, but maybe it was always there. So.
And how do you come up with your ideas? Because they're brilliant and funny, and you have 3 or 4 characters in one scene. How do you do this?
I think because a lot of the time I'll kind of explain sort of the English version, sort of the culture of the British English, because a lot of Brazilians think we're sort of, they say we're frio, you know, which is sort of like a cold person, they say. But I like to think it was a lot of the British people are very sort of, they're quite private. They don't like to sort of, it takes a while to get to know an English person usually. Whereas in Brazil, you can get to know someone very quickly. So I think it's nice to show the English side, the English culture, how an English person would react. And then sort of as I've been living here in Brazil, sort of similar to it's a different culture, it's a different way of responding to people. So it's sort of two different characters in the same video. So I think that's I've got experiences of both sides. So that's how I can come up with these ideas.
Have you ever taught English in Brazil, like a teacher or something?
I'm not a big fan of sort of teaching as such. Having said, I have tried I've done a few favors for people where I've taught in a class, but that's not really my passion. That's not something I'm very excited about. But I have started doing sort of conversation classes because I like talking. I like to help people out, and that's a bit more enjoyable. So I've started doing some conversation classes as a little side hustle from all the social media posts.
Yeah. I think that you're very charismatic, and also you have the accent from the Northeast. When you speak Portuguese, it's amazing as well. What do you think is something that you learned in Brazil you can't live without anymore?
That's the first thing that came to my head was couscous. The North
food.
The food. Yeah, I think definitely the Brazilian food.
Yeah,
I think is very special here. It's a different. Like for example, the lunch is very different here.
Yeah,
we're not used to eating such a big lunch in the UK. So that's nice. I think I would find that difficult if I went back to sort of standard eating in England.
And when I first approached you, I think that we clicked right away as well, because I like to be funny. I am like a clown to my students, you know, because I want to make them learn. What is something that you brought, let's say, from the UK to Brazil?
Something I brought from the UK to Brazil.
Punctuality, maybe?
Perhaps. I think a lot of the Brazilians are used to the United States have a very big influence in Brazil. A lot of Brazilians seem to learn the United States sort of accent. So perhaps sort of my British accent, their ears open up a little bit. Oh, that sounds different. Where are they from? So perhaps some different words, different slangs we use compared to the US, maybe.
You have a favorite TikTok video that you've done?
A favorite one. I think there's one where I did a video about going to the bakery and asking for French bread, because there's a word in Portuguese, as you know, which is if you say it wrong, it can mean something totally different.
It's a bad word, It's
a bad word, but I think I made it really well, and it was quite successful on TikTok, and it's quite funny. So I think that one there. Yeah.
My favorite one is the one where you are on the beach and you ask for coconut and you use another word and not
there's
so
a
good,
few words.
You know? Do you think that you would be so famous in Brazil, that you would be so famous, so successful?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm that successful. I'm going to keep trying my best and keep posting. But I didn't know how that it would. It was very random, because it was all. Originally I started posting things on Facebook. To do with fitness. So my username used to be called Gringro Fitness on Instagram. So I used to make I used to create content based on giving tips around in the gym and diet and health. And then sort of, I don't know, something just clicked. I heard something. So somebody said, "Oh, you should really make some videos about funny experiences in Brazil." So I started to then post things on Instagram, but Instagram wasn't really receiving the content very well. because it was all I don't know, it was the algorithm getting confused. But I didn't reach many people. So one day I created a TikTok account, and I started putting, it's like a fresh new account, different sort of hashtags, and it sort of reached sort of different a different audience. And I think that's where I think it sort of got better and more views, and then I changed my Instagram around, and so
that's awesome. That's awesome, and I hope that you can keep going and growing more and more. What is the advice that you can give my audience to keep studying English?
Keep studying English, sure. I think you've got to have a reason. You need to ask yourself, why am I learning the language? What is my end goal here? What do I just want to? Am I going to travel? Do I want to travel around Europe, or do I want to live in another country? Do I want to teach, or it might just be a hobby, of learning a new language? So I think you need to ask yourself, why is it I wanted to learn? And I think you need to then start making small steps to, don't overset the standards. Sort of have a reasonable standard and go by the, step by step. For me, learning Portuguese, for example, I would have never have learned another language unless I met a Brazilian lady. That's the reason why I wanted to learn Portuguese, was because sort of I had to. I was going to live in the country, so I had no choice. But when I wasn't in Brazil, when I was learning in the UK, I did do a little course to learn the basics, because there's a lot of rules. So I think it's important to learn the rules. And that's good by starting a little course. And then after I did the course, I would watch TV series, I'd watch films. There was an application called Duolingo. I used to use Duolingo a lot. And once I sort of built a rhythm and sort of getting into a routine of and wanting to learn every day, then the next step was actually speaking to people, practicing, having conversations, especially with native Brazilian people. So in your case, your students would be native English people, Native Americans, or Australians, or whatever country that may speak English. So I think the best way in the end is just practicing speaking, if you can, because you learn a lot by listening. There's different slangs, different expressions, different accents, which you can't get from sort of studying for a book or something. So
awesome.
Those are the tips I give.
Now we can go to the rapid round game that everybody loves.
Sure.
My family is.
Wonderful.
The UK is.
Cold.
Brazil is.
Friendly.
Friends are.
Friends are crazy.
My favorite word in Portuguese is.
Oxente.
My favorite word in English is.
Oh, it's a slang. We say bro, like bruv. In English, we say bruv. Bro.
Okay. Now you can ask me the questions, whatever you want.
Okay. Your favorite food?
Rice and beans.
Your hobby?
Studying English.
Your favorite destination?
New York.
Your preferred temperature?
Well, I never had the chance to see snow, so I like cold weather in Brazil, so
Cold weather in
because
Brazil.
you know what I'm talking about now that you live in Brazil.
Your favorite drink?
My favorite drink, Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola. Your family?
My children, my wife, and my parents are my foundation. That's awesome. For every guest, I have a sentence, a quote to take away. And for you is, you are very talented. You are very funny. You are very thoughtful. I like making friends. YouTube has brought me amazing people. I'm having the chance to meet you in person and to record with you. I want to tell you something that's very poignant to me. I am a disabled person and I work a lot. And when I see your videos, your TikTok videos, they make me zone out and laugh and forget how hard life is.
Sure.
You know,
you,
and that's really amazing because you and Jacinho, you are very natural. When I see the videos and I say he's doing a character again, just keep bringing your humor to my country and to Brazilian people. It's an honor to be your friend, to be someone who watches you grow and see how sympathetic you are. When you are on YouTube or when you are on TikTok or whatever, we need to be humble.
Definitely, yeah.
And you are humble. You do the things the way you have to do because you really crack me up. Thank you for also lending me your language, which is something that I love so much. For me, it doesn't matter if it's American accent anymore or British accent or Australian accent. I love English. I teach English for 25 years, and that's what I like to do. I always say I am a work in progress, you know, and I'll always be up until the day I die. And the last thing that I have to say to you is thank you very much for accepting doing this interview. Thank you very much for being so open and receptive.
Thank you for inviting me.
You know, so it was really amazing. I hope we can do many more things in the near future. And as soon as this pandemic goes away, I hope we can meet.
Oh,
you know,
absolutely, yeah.
It will be an honor for me to bring you to my country town in the state of Sao Paulo. But keep doing your job. Keep being great and doing the job that you were doing. You deserve it all. You deserve it all and much more.
Your kind words.
People, this was my friend, Peter. His links are going to be in the description below. I hope you liked it as much as I did. See you next week. Thank you.
See you guys.
See you. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Hello, it's Rod's friend here, Gino from Real Everyday English. Sorry for interrupting your video. I just want to make a quick recommendation that you subscribe to Rodrigo's channel. He's an amazing guy. He's so humble. He's so dedicated. And he creates absolutely fantastic content. See you people soon. Bye-bye. God bless.